Hello, ladies. I am so honored to be here and to be alongside such a powerhouse group of women speakers is just really exciting. I'm a certified life coach, as Lisa said. My name is Laurice Duffy. I am the owner of A Mindful Journey, the host of the Aligned and Awakened podcast, a speaker, and the founder of the Kindness Matters Scholarship. Today, I'm here to speak to all of you about the power to choose. So, the very inspiring Dr. Steve Marilobi once said, "Incredible change happens in your life when you decide to take control over what you do have power over, instead of craving control over what you don't." Let me tell you, I had no idea the magnitude that these words would have in my life. I was 26 years old when I married the love of my life, my very best friend. Our wedding was on a beautiful fall day, the day after Thanksgiving. We moved into a small, partially renovated 2-bedroom home and adopted the sweetest 8-week-old yellow lab. His name was Boomer. My husband was a union pipe fitter, and I owned a small business. There was so much ahead for us, so much to look forward to. We had big plans and big dreams. Life was so amazing, and we were ready for every single bit of it. A few years had passed of being newlyweds, and in a community that we loved so much, actually the community that I had grown up in, we found our forever home, a big, large 5-bedroom colonial where we envisioned having children, raising a family, planting roots, and creating the most magnificent life. We were so excited. After making this new home our own, and finally feeling settled, we were ready to fill it with the joy and laughter of children. And if there was one thing that I was looking so forward to, it was becoming a mom. Although it took a few years of trying, various doctors, 2 rounds of IVF, many tears, and a boatload of disappointment, we finally got pregnant on December 11th, 2000. 3. Yes, you heard me correctly. 3 healthy baby boys. Oh my gosh. I was so excited, a little bit scared, but so overwhelmed with joy. And guess what? The joy and gratitude did not end there. 2.5 years later, without any assistance, we gave birth to another healthy, beautiful baby boy. Holy testosterone. It was a lot of boys. And we couldn't have been more thrilled. And my husband, oh my gosh, he was such an athlete, loved sports. He envisioned his, offensive line on the football team, his partial infield of the baseball team, and including him, an entire basketball squad. So much excitement and so truly blessed. I still call my youngest son my bonus to this day. So our life as a family of 6 was everything I had hoped it would be. And I was so beyond grateful. We went to church as a family. We had Sunday dinners with our extended family. We went on big vacations with a large group. We had barbecues, spent time, with family, friends. My healthy and athletic husband coached my children in basketball, baseball, and football. I brought all the snacks, cheered from the sidelines, and loved every minute of the life that we had created together. It was truly amazing. And we were young, excited, and so excited and filled with dreams. And we couldn't wait for what was to come. Sadly, what was to come, what was ahead, looked nothing like what was. It was the summer of 2014. The older boys were in 8th grade and our youngest son was in 5th. When my husband started complaining of some odd symptoms, he shared that he had a slight slur in his speech and his tongue felt a bit swollen. Periodically, he would get leg cramps just out of nowhere. Following a handful of doctors and various tests, we found ourselves in a neurologist specialist office. I remember that day so vividly. I was excited that day. Kevin took off of work. We had a 10 o'clock appointment, a 10 a.m. appointment, and we had planned on going out to lunch after the appointment and spending the day together. The doctor examined Kevin. He did an EMG, which is an electromyogram. It's a test of the muscles and nerves. Kevin was getting a lot of leg cramps, so this seemed perfectly appropriate. I was sure that we had all the scary possibilities out of the way. I was very optimistic and really hoped that our lunch date was going to be a celebration of finally understanding what these symptoms were and how to get rid of them. We could have never prepared for what was coming next. The doctor invited us into his office. He told us that he was pretty certain Kevin had the early stages of ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, otherwise known as Lou Gehrig's disease. We weren't sure exactly what that meant. We had heard of the ice bucket challenge, but we didn't know exactly what having ALS meant for our lives, meant for my husband. My husband asked, "Can you share with us what that means?" And the doctor's words scared me to death. He said, "How much do you want to know?" Oh my gosh. My husband said, "We want to know everything." He shared with us that this cruel disease would eventually take Kevin's ability away to walk, to talk, to possibly speak, and to breathe. He shared with us that this is a terminal illness with an average expectancy of 3 to 5 years. Terror darted through my veins at the most rapid speed. After an immense amount of sadness, tears, barely being able to get out of bed, and weeks of strength and support from family and friends, a second confirmed opinion, and sharing the horrifying news with our 4 children, we were informed about Lyme disease and how the symptoms of Lyme disease overlap with ALS. We were even told about people who had been misdiagnosed and had gone on to live healthy, long lives. We quickly made an appointment and visited a very reputable LLMD, Lyme Literate Medical Doctor. His office was almost 2 hours away, but we would have driven across the world for someone to give us hope. After examining Kevin, this doctor believed that he was in fact misdiagnosed and was suffering from Lyme disease. He immediately started Kevin on an aggressive protocol of antibiotics and told us to come back in 1 month. Oh my God. This was the greatest news ever. Now, what you must understand is that there is no testing to confirm definitively that you have ALS. And Lyme disease testing is unreliable. So it was very easy to believe this Lyme literate medical doctor. And of course, we wanted the hope. We left that appointment with hope in our hearts, and faith in the future. This was a win, and we were taking it. No looking back. We were marching forward in the excitement of what we just found out. For the exception of a few minor bumps, life went on as fairly normal. We did our normal things. My husband coached the boys in all their sports. We went to church. We went on family vacations. We had barbecues. We spent time with friends and family. It wasn't always easy. Kevin did have in the back of his mind, what if? We really don't know for sure. But every month we saw the Lyme literate medical doctor, and every month I tightened my grip on control, praying no one was going to take away that Lyme diagnosis. No one was going to change their mind. And every time we left that office, with this doctor still believing it was Lyme disease, it was a win. And I gripped tighter. When Kevin felt unsure or worried, I would look up articles and share them with him. I cheered him on every bit of the way. We so badly wanted this to be Lyme disease. We wanted to believe that our family was going to continue living as a group, as a whole, together, and stay on this journey that we envisioned. Beautiful, beautiful things. The life that we wanted for all of us as a married couple, and as for our kids, as their parents. We hoped, and we believed, and we gave it every single thing that we had. After almost a year and a half of articles, specialists, diets, treatments, therapies, and even IV antibiotics, Kevin wasn't getting better. At this point, he was actually getting worse. I realized the importance of a much needed conversation when I asked my beautiful, now frail husband, are we searching for answers or are we running from the truth? That was a very, very hard day. With my persuasion and my husband's reluctance, we got back in touch with the ALS community and saw yet another specialist. We went to Columbia Presbyterian in New York City, one of the best hospitals around. The doctor examined Kevin and shared his findings. I remember his exact words so clearly. He said to us, I don't know if you have Lyme disease or not. What I know for sure is that this is ALS. Oh. I remember feeling like I was running a marathon only to get close to what I thought was the finish line and being told, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, the start line, it's over there. You see, I tried to control what I didn't have power over for far too long. It was time to surrender and go home to talk to our 4 boys and remove the false hope that we so innocently and irresponsibly placed in their hearts. We sat them down. I did all the talking. By this time, it was getting very difficult for my husband to speak. I shared the certainty of the news that we just had received from the specialist at Columbia Presbyterian. Dad does, in fact, have ALS. Everyone was quiet. The room was still. The only words spoken were, Mom, are you okay? The question struck me as odd, almost insensitive. Why was I being asked if I was okay and not their dad? He was the sick one. He was the one who had this awful disease. He was the one that was going to die. I thought about those 4 words for days. They ran on repeat in my mind. And then one day, I got it. I finally got it. You see, my kids weren't surprised by the news. By this time, they had actually accepted the idea that their dad was not getting better. They were watching it. They saw he was declining. They saw what I wasn't willing to see. They knew they were probably going to lose him. What they needed to be sure of was that they weren't going to lose their mom. All of a sudden, it was crystal clear. I didn't have power over Kevin's illness. I didn't have power over losing my husband or my 4 beautiful children, losing their father, their hero, their coach, their buddy. But I did have power over something. Me. I had power over me. The power was within. It was all right here. And I had the power to choose. I boldly and with intention made the decision that I was not going to be the victim of life, but instead a leader with choices. I couldn't change what was happening, but I had all the power within me. It was going to happen. I chose strength, as I knew it would provide my family with stability. I chose to feel pain, as I knew it would provide my family permission to feel their own. I chose to provide truth, which so powerfully provided trust. I chose love, compassion, understanding, patience, and even a sense of humor when appropriate. A coaching principle became my daily mantra. It says each moment describes who you are and gives you the opportunity to decide if that's who you want to be. You see, I knew who I was when life was easy, when life was beautiful and amazing. I was a good mom and a good wife, a great sister, a beautiful daughter, a wonderful friend. Who was I going to be when life was at rock bottom? That was the question. And every day, in every different situation I found myself in, I asked myself, who do you want to be right now? Who do you want to be? I thought about who I wanted to be as my husband's wife, who I wanted to be as my children's mother, who I wanted to be for me, and even who I wanted to be for my future self, because I knew she had needs too. I knew she needed to look back at the situation without regret and with peace. So I thought about her too. Mom, are you okay? Became my superpower. I was so busy trying to control my external world that I forgot to go the very place where control and power actually exist, within. You see, our circumstances don't create our destiny. Our choices, the choices that we make every day, that's what creates our destiny. You, every one of you beautiful women out there, have all the control that you need within. Stop the search, my friends, and start the trust. The foundation of freedom is in the power to choose. On April 18th at 2 a.m., on the hospice floor of St. Clair's Hospital, my beautiful husband, the amazing father of my 4 children, lost his battle with ALS. Upon my return home, I entered into my first son's bedroom and shared the news that Dad had passed. He lifted his head from his pillow, nodded, and said, "Mom, are you okay?" I said yes. Know that you too have this superpower, a gift of strength that I promise lies within each of us. And today, I leave you with this. No matter what the circumstance in your life, whether big or small, you find yourself facing, please remember what you do have control over. You always, always have the power to choose.